There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of land and waters that this podcast is recorded on. Hello and welcome to Cancelled, the podcast that looks at silly celebrity crimes and assigns charges and sentences to them so we can all move on with our lives. I'm Claire Stevens and I'm joined by
Jessie Stevens.
And Jess, we've been talking a little bit about lazy girl stories that we've had from our listeners. And I need to talk about one that went too far.
Oh.
Yeah, and we did talk about it. So I got married a few weeks ago.
Yep.
We
And
both
it's the most
acknowledged it.
unlazy girl thing because you've got to wash your hair, you've got to you don't have to, but ladies like us need a little spray tan. We went full Lindsay Lohan.
We did, and we actually got stopped the day before in the street by a listener.
Yeah.
And she said, lazy girls. And I was like, I'm not being a lazy girl right now.
Not now.
I'm busy and
I got my
stressed.
nails done and my tan and I got a dress.
Yeah,
So,
actually quite a lot. You said something about a steamer.
yeah,
on
I said
Instagram.
I'm steaming Claire's wedding dress. That's part of what you have to do. Surely, like, you know, I didn't iron this dress today, but
No.
I draw the line at wedding dresses.
You were like looking for a steamer
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. And somebody messaged and said, no, you don't need to steam the wedding dress. You just put it in the bathroom and turn the hot shower on. And to that I say, lazy girls,
We need to iron our wedding
we
dress.
need to steam our wedding dress. That's the one thing I
get
went.
it steamed.
Yeah. Oh God, you don't have to do it yourself. No.
Or not even steamed, just a cool iron.
And obviously, the problem was that maybe some people get their wedding dress and keep it upright and hanging.
Lazy girls
So
don't.
that when I got my wedding dress out the night before, it had all fallen to the bottom of the bag, and
It was very crinkled.
my other bridesmaid was horrified and went, "Why do you keep things in this condition?" And I said, "Shh,
Hush now.
hush now."
I have a story I would like to share
Yep.
that happened when I was on the project, right? What happened was I was sitting there at the beginning and a live studio audience comes in, right? My mic is all hooked up to my chair, so I couldn't get out of my chair. But the other three hosts, normally we talk to the audience at the end, they decided to talk to them at the beginning. So the optics are three other hosts, all more important and famous than me, speaking and engaging with the audience, while bitch back here is sitting in her chair going, I can't get up, I'm hooked up to the microphone, right?
Oh.
Anyway, so then at the end of the show, when I was unhooked, I went up and I said, I just wanted to apologise and let you know I was hooked up. I couldn't come over. And from the back of the studio audience, I hear in a whispered hush, lazy girl.
Lazy girl.
She's a lazy girl.
No.
She's a lazy girl.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I looked at her and I went, yes.
I was being a lazy
I was being a
girl.
lazy girl. And none of the hosts, they were like, what? And I was like, you know.
It's like you might be proper journalist.
Takes one to know one, but I am a lazy girl. And we've been inundated with messages from people. This is one of my favourites from this week. Someone would actually like to put their mother forward for the Lazy Girl Award. This was Kylie Jenner adjacent as well.
Oh.
She did not name her daughter who wrote in until she got a letter from the government threatening a fine. And giving...
That's so Australian that we fine you if you don't have a name.
just come on. You've got to give her a name. She then decided one and went, oh, whatever, bloody Sarah, whatever your name is. And also they never got married because they never got around to it. Not good with paperwork. So I like her a lot.
Lazy girl.
She's a lazy girl.
Oh my gosh, she's an icon.
Yes, she's my favourite lazy girl.
Jessie, today's episode is about Orlando Bloom.
Is your name Orlando Bloom?
It is.
Orlando Jonathan Blanchard Copeland Bloom.
So Orlando's his real name.
Orlando Bloom sounds like a fake name.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Like first and last fake. And Copeland, all of those extra ones, I'm pretty sure little Flinny has got those thrown into his name too.
Oh, interesting.
He's a Flynn Blanchard Copeland. Flynn is his name.
Not Kerr?
No Kerr.
Doesn't have any Kerr.
No.
Just context, that's Orlando Bloom and Miranda Kerr's little boy.
Who we will get to.
Flinny. Anyway, Orlando Bloom is an English actor best known for his roles in Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean.
You're the one they're hunting. The pirate.
You seem somewhat familiar. Have I threatened you before?
I make a point of avoiding familiarity with pirates.
Interestingly,
When you say best known,
he's
only known.
known exclusively
We'll get to that.
for those two roles. Interestingly, like Brad Pitt, Orlando Bloom seems to be one of those actors where people saw his face and were like, stop the traffic. This man needs to be in front of a camera.
We have a role. And it's
Everything.
I don't know, was he a hobbit?
No, it was Legolas.
Okay.
He was so hot that everyone just kept giving him opportunities. So he wasn't even 20 when he made his film debut in Wild alongside Stephen Fry.
Wild?
No. Wild, like Oscar Wilde.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, yeah. Right,
Alongside Stephen Fry, Jude Law, Michael Sheen. And then he went to film school. So he hadn't been to film school when he was in that.
Just hot.
2 days after graduating from Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, he was cast as Legolas in Lord of the Rings. And he actually auditioned for the part of Faramir, who doesn't appear till the second movie. But Peter Jackson was like, no.
We must see you earlier.
I need you on screen. Look at your face, kind sir.
Okay, what we've got is someone who's falling upwards. He's not falling necessarily, but he stumbles in an incredibly upwards trajectory. Okay.
Now, Jesse, you might say, it's odd. The man seems to have only really been in Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
To that I say, well, yes, but that's 62 movies in total. Because
Pirates of the Caribbean. But I've only seen 2.
well, it's not 62. That was exaggeration. But it is 10 films, 5 each.
Explains why I was busy for a period there. But then again, that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but he's got 10 bangers. And to that I say, well done. You're very lucky. 2 good franchises.
Do you reckon any of our listeners have watched every Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Because I've never met someone who has.
Oh, I think I
Can you message us if you have? Because I don't believe that
I think I
anyone
dropped
has.
off over maybe after the second-ish.
Yeah, I think that's average. I think if you're a diehard fan, you got to 4.
So Bloom was then in Troy. Great film.
Forgot he was in that.
Great film. And he was well cast in that because he was a bit gentle. But Jesse, after that, things went downhill. He starred in a series of movies that weren't terrible, but crucially, they also weren't good.
That's worse.
Movies
Because it's like, you're trying.
oh God, you're not doing a funny ha-ha.
No.
You're not doing a Lindsay Lohan, I know who killed me.
No.
You're doing Elizabethtown. And it's just not good and it doesn't get reviewed well.
Yeah.
He did Love and Other Disasters, The Three Musketeers.
All films I've heard of and decided not to see.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. The Good Doctor, which obviously not the TV show, the movie. He seems to have an amazing ability to choose remarkably average films to be in. And that is a skill. More recently, he voiced Prince Harry in the TV show The Prince.
You received a postcard from your Uncle Harry and Aunt Megan in LA. Let me see that.
This might be the smallest palace I've ever been in.
Well, it's an apartment.
Yes, an apartment palace, I know that. Lots of tiny palaces inside one big palace.
Oh, I heard about
Which
this.
was the one about Prince George. And
that looked funny. Yeah.
It didn't get renewed for a second season, didn't get reviewed well.
Okay.
Yeah. But he is also starring in a show called Carnival Row alongside Cara Delevingne.
They will never understand us.
It's time for a fresh start. God, you don't know, do you? Know what? Philo's alive.
The man's no better than the pain he's caused.
And the reviews seem fine, but like, why aren't I watching it? Orlando Bloom was married to Miranda Kerr. They were together for about 5 years in total and have a baby boy together.
Flinny, Bouchard, Ludchard,
Bloom. In 2016, Bloom started dating Katy Perry. And we liked
the elder
this.
Bloom.
The elder Bloom.
Sorry. Orlando, not Flynn.
And we liked this because Katy Perry got done over by...
She's just like a plastic bag floating through the wind. Just trying to start again. And she did with Orlando.
She got
dumped by Russell
dumped
Brand.
by Dirty
and she
Dog.
had a really bad time backstage.
We can tell
which
that.
we know from her documentary. I'm going to say it's called Pieces of Me. But that's just because every documentary about celebrities is called Pieces of Me.
So I think we wanted the best for Katy. And when she ended up with
love
Orlando,
Katy.
we went, lovely, beautiful. Orlando and Katy broke up, but then got together again, and they now have a little baby together.
Named?
Daisy.
Oh,
now,
Daisy Bloom. Interesting.
Jesse, I have a theory about why Katy Perry named her daughter Daisy, and I've never been able to air it because it's never been the right time.
Okay, it's not been relevant.
No. And you may say it's not really relevant here because this isn't about Katy Perry. But this is Orlando Bloom's daughter.
Yes.
So I can state it. So you know Fifi Box, the radio host, presenter.
She's very funny. I love Fifi Box.
I love her.
And she's had 2 kids now, right?
Mhm. The little one is named Daisy.
Really cute.
And Katy Perry came to Australia and was interviewed by Fifi Box.
Oh, wow.
And then Fifi put up a photo of Katy
Daisy.
Perry meeting Daisy. Jessie, look at the photo in front of you. Describe what you see.
Katie is losing it. She is gasping at the cuteness of Daisy. In one, Daisy is looking at her, and in the other, Daisy has lost her shit and is screaming at the top of her lungs, but Katie thinks it's funny.
So I think Katy met Daisy and went, I have to call my baby that.
Oh my goodness.
So nice little connection to Australia, in my opinion.
I like that theory a lot.
But look, it's ultimately irrelevant because today's episode, not about Katy. It's about Orlando.
Who, I mean, until now, I thought had stopped making films.
No.
Since Pirates of the
no.
Caribbean, I went, he wanted to live a quieter life. No, he didn't.
He's
He
been
wants to be
working.
making blockbusters. He just isn't.
My structure for today is as follows. The time he hit Justin Bieber, the time he yelled at a random woman, a bizarre daily routine, and getting his dick out.
Yeah.
Jessie, hitting Justin Bieber. We do not like tempers in the council
Or
courtroom.
hitting.
No. Hitting is
Even
also,
can sometimes be a crime.
yeah, hitting is often to do with losing your temper.
Mm.
And we think it's embarrassing and it gives us the ick.
Yeah.
It's all awkward, hitting, and
It feels like we're in preschool and we're fighting over something. And I mean, people who don't fight, you know, you're not wrestling, you're not sort of doing it for a scene. There's just such an awkwardness where we start to slap, and then we've talked about this, but we inevitably kick, which doesn't feel like the rules.
we stumble.
And then someone grabs the foot, and then you're one-footed, and someone falls, and you hurt yourself, and it's horrible to watch.
It's slow and it's awkward.
and it's loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2014. Orlando Bloom's marriage with Miranda Kerr has ended, and he has been canoodling with Selena Gomez.
New photos have surfaced. Orlando Bloom with Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez kind of making out with Orlando Bloom.
Selena and Orlando looking really cozy in Las Vegas.
Wait, Orlando Bloom has been canoodling.
Correct. In 2014.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. He's in his mid-30s, and Selena is in her very early 20s.
Okay.
So I feel weird about it. But he's in Ibiza, as is Justin Bieber. This is important because obviously Justin Bieber had an on and off relationship with Selena. But also, Justin Bieber apparently bragged to everyone that he slept with Miranda Kerr.
I've heard this rumor. He was 18 years old.
They met in 2012 at the Victoria's Secret
I watched
show.
it.
Obviously. And did they have chemistry? Sure. We all thought it. But there are photos of them standing next to each other, and it's just so obvious that he's
A little baby.
child,
Yeah.
a little boy. But
So she was about 28. He was about 18.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he maintains they slept together. He's said it over the years. Apparently, he tells everyone. And it was while Kerr was still with Bloom.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
It's like his thing that he tells this story. So on a Wednesday night, both Orlando and Justin happened to be in the same restaurant.
In Ibiza.
Yeah, with a bunch of other celebrities like Paris Hilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Diddy. Of course, Diddy's there.
Leonardo DiCaprio, he's always around for the drama. He never starts it.
So true. There are 2 theories as to what happened. And by theories, I mean eyewitness accounts exclusively given to TMZ.
All right.
One alleges that Justin went to shake Orlando's hand. Orlando refused it. Justin asked, "What's your problem?" Orlando mentioned Miranda. Justin tried to walk away, and then Orlando swung.
Do you reckon if you're a TMZ reporter, you just sit in clubs in Ibiza all year round?
And just wait.
Just wait.
I think they're planted in every
I'd
club.
probably throw one in Mykonos.
Yeah.
And a few in New York.
Oh,
But you'd
so many in
catch some
Vegas.
shit. Yeah.
A lot in Vegas. The other theory is that Justin said something along the lines of, "I had sex with your wife."
All right.
And then Orlando swung. Either way, Orlando Bloom attempted to hit Justin Bieber.
And there's a gap there. So we're talking about a man in his mid-30s. Justin Bieber's in his early 20s?
No, he was 18 or 19.
I
think he was 18 years old. And to that I say,
a lot of people did want to hit Justin Bieber around that time.
no, they did. They did. And they controlled themselves. And Orlando, I say, leave the child alone. He knows not what he does. He's a kid. He's a fetus.
He's yet to transport the monkey into Germany.
He hasn't even done his
He
worst.
hasn't even done that. Has he
Worst
weed in his
behaviour.
mop bucket?
Probably not. He has probably spat already.
He has spat. If you want to compare timelines, go back, listen to our Justin Bieber episode. Now, please remind me of the name of the monkey.
Morley.
Morley is not yet born. Continue.
James Franco and Leonardo DiCaprio supported Bloom.
Of course they did.
And it's like, this is so embarrassing. Justin Bieber is a troll, and it's all very funny if you realise that. Like, did he sleep with Miranda Kerr? No one knows. But yelling, "I slept with your wife" at a grown man significantly bigger than you who can knock you out is a genuinely funny thing to do.
Do we know how hard he hit him? Like,
I think
how hard?
he missed.
Oh, God. Why does that make it worse?
It does.
Oh.
And then Justin left and then everyone cheered. And sorry, one of the people cheering the loudest was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Imagine. Leonardo DiCaprio hates Justin Bieber.
Because I think everyone was like, this little shit. And it's like, he is a little shit, but it's because he's a little shit.
He's very cute.
Now, no matter what way this story goes, it seems Orlando attempted to hit Justin Bieber because of something to do with Miranda Kerr. I don't think I believe that Miranda Kerr slept with Justin Bieber.
Why?
Because,
I mean, why would Justin Bieber lie about having sex with a supermodel when he was only 17?
he said that she made him a man.
Oh, yuck.
Justin.
Apparently, they shared dirty texts. I saw it in TMZ.
Okay, what I will say is this, and this has become a recurring theme on the podcast.
Where there is smoke,
there is fire. Do I believe that they slept together? Potentially not. Do I believe something happened between Miranda Kerr and Justin Bieber? I do. Because then otherwise, explain to me why Orlando Bloom tried to hit him. Go on.
Yeah, I knew something had happened. Even just a little kiss, a little text. Because around that time, apparently Miranda had stopped wearing her wedding ring.
That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And like they got divorced in 2014, but
things have been on the rocks.
Things were unraveling for some time.
Since the Biebs.
Jesse, yelling at a random woman. It's 2018. It's a Thursday, and during the matinee performance of his play Killer Joe on
Again, never heard of it.
on London's West End, Orlando has an outburst. London theatre critic Mark Shenton tweeted an eyewitness account of what happened. And he said Bloom yelled, "I need you to put that iPad away now," at a woman in the audience. A few minutes later, he shouted,
remember this.
"Put that effing iPad away now and I will wait."
And he was on the stage mid-performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another audience member who saw it all unfold was actor Harry Edwin, who responded to that initial tweet and defended the woman holding the iPad. He said she was using it for her fan because the theatre was really, really hot. And I did my due diligence here, and it was July. And I do believe...
Did you do your due diligence and did you Google whether an iPad has a fan?
No, I've got a photo. I've got a photo.
As in a paper fan?
No, she had this little red clip fan attached to her iPad. I think it charges the fan. It's almost like it's plugged into the iPad. And clearly, instead of just holding it, she had an iPad in her lap and the clip fan on top of the iPad. So it made the fan at the right level.
Okay. Did she have the iPad light on?
No, black screen.
Okay, that's my line. I mean, I wouldn't yell at anyone in the audience. She's a paying customer, whether she's on her iPad or not. And honestly, it's a testament to your performance. Because
if she wanted to film
I think I don't even have an iPad, but if I was watching Elizabethtown, I'd get my iPad out and start playing on it because it's not compelling.
Well, this actor said on Twitter, "I was sat behind this woman, and although it would have looked bad, in her defense, she was only using it for her fan as the auditorium was roasting." And then he posted this picture. Jesse, look at the picture. Tell me what you see.
Okay, so the iPad, it does have a fan on it. It's a black screen. The fan is directed at her. It appears to be on. That's all I can add from there. Is there anything else in this picture I'm missing?
No, it's a very small theatre.
Yes.
It's a small theatre. I can see how he has spotted, it maybe has 4 rows.
Yeah.
So he spotted someone on an iPad and he's publicly shamed them. I can't because this is so embarrassing. We don't yell at people in the audience while we're performing. You're being a cranky boy.
You know what? Method actors would never. I don't think they would be distracted by that.
No.
If you were a method actor, of which we have done a few episodes on method actors, such as Jared Leto and Jim Carrey. I think you're actually so delusional and in your own world, you're not noticing fan iPads.
I think it says something about Orlando Bloom's.
I think it's about a lack of focus.
I think he wasn't focused
Yeah.
in the moment.
I think he forgot his line.
And so
That's what I'd do. If I forgot my line, I'd look around and go, get off your phone. And I'd go, well, I've lost my spot.
Line. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. This is my biggest fear when I go to the theatre. I get scared that the person on stage can see me and I'm doing theatre wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe I'm eating my Maltesers too loudly, or maybe
I'm checking my phone.
My Coke is too big. I don't know. Am I just distracting?
Yes.
Did I not laugh at the right part?
And you just never know why she would be looking at her iPad.
Could be a medical emergency.
It could be like a hearing thing, or she could be watching Family Guy.
And all of those things are valid. And is she paying your wage, Orlando?
Exactly.
Jessie, a bizarre daily routine. It's March 2021 and Orlando Bloom shares his daily routine with the Sunday Times. Let me recap.
And just for context, no one was in a good place in March 2021.
No, we were all doing weird things.
Wellness wasn't really the vibe.
No, everyone had fallen apart.
Yeah.
He wakes up at 6:30 a.m. every day and checks his sleep tracker to make sure he got a full 8 hours sleep.
Goodness.
At this point, he had a 7-month-old daughter, Daisy, and you just know if she
He's
woke
also
up,
got Flynn.
You just know if Daisy woke up at 4 a.m. and cried, he'd roll over
and he'd say,
look at Katie, tap his watch and say, I need my 8 hours.
I need my 8 hours.
Or my sleep tracker doesn't like it.
And throughout my whole day.
And he'd say, be a sweetheart and go.
Be a sweetheart.
I've
Go
heard
calm
this
the
said
baby
about
down.
some people with partners and young babies, and the male partner will say, I don't cope well on not a lot of sleep. That's Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't do
Sorry.
well.
You're good with no sleep.
Yeah. I actually really value sleep and I enjoy it when I get enough and I don't feel tired. So in terms of the split here, I'm thinking I'll do the 8 hours sleep and you'll do the not sleep. Thoughts?
Once he's up, he then checks on his daughter Daisy.
Oh, good.
Which
Well,
is
after
lovely.
the sleep tracker.
Yes. You know, she's probably been up
Who
all
got
night.
Daisy up? Because, like, she's not crying.
Yeah, true.
He
True.
woke
I
to
think
an alarm.
In his world, she's sleeping peacefully
Oh.
and he goes and just taps her and she wakes up and goes, meow, meow, meow.
Okay.
He says, I'll kiss Daisy and we'll spend some time connecting. I'll do some eye gazing with her and sing songs.
All right.
And I feel like Daisy can't sing yet. At 7
So
months.
he looks her in the eye and he goes, rise and shine.
Rise and shine.
Oh, we're going to get sued for copyright.
Rise and shine.
Did you pay
That
for
belongs to Kylie. That belongs to Kylie Jenner. But he will do a little rise and shine quietly so Kylie doesn't.
She'll knock on and ask for payment. But I feel like he's singing the Lord of the Rings theme music, or alternatively, Pirates of the Caribbean theme music.
What is the Lord of the Rings theme music? Very kind of instrumental
It
ring
actually,
vibe
it actually did play
at your
at my wedding.
when the ring was...
When the ring bearer came up, we played, because it was the ring to rule them all. My partner likes Lord of the Rings. I've never watched a single film. So from there, Orlando spends 20 minutes doing Buddhist chanting before sharing a bit of Buddhism on his Instagram stories, which I feel like directly contravenes the vibe of Buddhism.
All right. Who's looking after Daisy? Katie, maybe.
Katie. And I think his Buddhist chanting would not only wake up Katie if she was sleeping, which she's not because she's supervising the baby.
Yeah.
That he just woke up to smile at.
And gaze. Hey, I've done my gazing. Do you want to go change the nappy?
Hey, I've done my gazing. She's awake now. Now I've got to chant.
By the way, she has a pooey nappy and she's hungry. now I'm going to chant.
But I think it would really upset the baby. Can you
They
imagine
would hate it.
being a 7-month-old and your dad is just chanting? Be like,
Yeah,
quiet.
I'm trying to eat my meal.
My goo.
I'm trying to eat my goo in peace. And Dad won't stop chanting. Okay, so he does his chants.
For pre-breakfast, what is that? He has some green powders, which he mixes with brain octane oil, a collagen powder, and some protein.
Yuck.
After that, he goes for a hike to earn his actual breakfast. And where
we have to earn our
is
breakfast.
his baby?
In
Is
his
she
backpack.
hiking? His breakfast then usually consists of porridge, a little bit of hazelnut milk, cinnamon, vanilla paste, hazelnuts, goji berries, a vegan protein powder, and a cup of PG Tips tea.
Okay.
How do these people have so many ingredients?
I think that someone else is making it.
Yeah, no, I think they are actually.
You could not pay me enough money to put porridge in my mouth.
I don't like
I have a
porridge.
thing about the texture of mush.
No.
If I put that mush, I would actually go, oh, I couldn't.
I don't like the mushiness.
No.
He says he is 90% plant-based, meaning he normally opts for some vegetables or a stew for lunch. And to that I say, what's the point of life if you're having stew for lunch?
Ugh. Again, the mushiness.
Oh,
I need some texture.
he says about being plant-based, he says, I sometimes look at a cow and think, that's the most beautiful thing ever. And Jessie, to that, I'd like to submit the following evidence into the courtroom. Tell
Okay,
me
the
what you
first
think.
one looks like a cow, but if it was a baby who was doing a spit up, like it looks like it's got little baby vomity milk coming out of its mouth.
Well, describe its eyelashes.
White and thick.
And what's
Curly hair on the top and big old ears.
Would you say it's beautiful?
No, but I'd say it's cute.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the second one looks like it's going to kill me and its tongue is hanging out a little bit and it looks like it's hungry. And the third one, that has horns. I don't know if that is a cow.
I don't
Is
know.
it a bull?
It's some cow variety.
It's a cow variety.
What would you say about the tongue on that final cow?
It's pigmented.
Yeah.
There's discoloration, potentially a sign of infection.
It's black.
I can't remember if we've said this, that the game we used to play as kids,
Oh.
we would always, on road trips, didn't have a lot to do. This was before interesting things like listening to Cancelled in the car. We'd wind down the windows, we'd see a cow, which we liked, and we would moo in their direction and they would always look back up and sometimes moo back. And that is a gift we give to you and your family.
They do look up. They go, Mum, and then you.
But you've got to do a really good moo. And mine isn't fantastic, but our brother is very, very good.
Hello, I'm Nick, and I've been asked to moo like a cow. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, it can't just be like moo. Like that's not how they sound.
Yeah, no.
It's got to come from the back of your throat and you've got to direct it at a particular cow and look at them and you'll distract them because they'll be doing something like
Eating
grazing
grass.
and they'll look up cross-eyed. They're always cross-eyed. They might move back.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
And from that experience, I would say we both know cows are not beautiful.
No.
Cows are cute.
Yes.
Cows are funny. Cows are not beautiful.
And if they're so beautiful, then like why are you only 90% vegan?
Yeah, great point. Great point. I feel like you're eating some cows, maybe the not beautiful ones, in which case that is discriminatory. He explains he's currently working on projects and reading lots of scripts. And this is interesting because when I see somebody on Instagram or if it's like an actor or a writer and they're like, yeah, I'm working on some things, like I've got something in the works, I always imagine it to be so much bigger and better than it ever turns out.
It's like the people on Instagram who are like, oh, something's coming.
Yeah.
Announcement.
And then it's like,
I am part of a pyramid scheme. Shit.
I thought you made a good film.
I always think they're going to be on Married at First Sight or something.
Yeah, that
But it's
would be
not
great.
that.
No, and so I do think it's interesting. This is 2021 and Orlando Bloom was like, yeah, I'm just like reading lots of scripts and it's like,
What
okay.
happened to those projects?
Because what you did, you were in a cartoon about Prince George. That was one of them.
So we've chosen some bad projects.
And the other one was a bloody show no one's watching.
So we're at lunchtime and he's had his stew. Where's Daisy?
She is having a bottle, I would assume, but she's just not really involved in the day. So he says, I spend a lot of my time dreaming about roles for myself and others, for minorities and women, which is the greatest thing that has ever been immortalized in print. Jessie, it's
For
so
minorities
great.
and women.
I think about roles for myself, but then I also think
That's going to, in my day in the life, I want to write a day in the life and just go, 12 to 1, just think about minorities. It's really patronizing and weird. And it's like, in what way? Do you have your eyes closed?
And no offense, but like looking at his projects, it's like, were
Prince
there minorities in the Prince George cartoon? I don't really think there were.
But it's about doing the work.
Yeah.
And he does think about minorities at times.
But I just love how it's like he thinks about roles for myself and others like quite equally. And I just feel like he has been putting himself forward for roles he's not eligible for.
So when he sits down and he thinks about minorities and women, it's like Katie's over there pumping, being like, could you just do one thing for Daisy? Because you were meant to drop Daisy at daycare at 9 a.m, but you were chanting. Then you went on a hike and Daisy's still in her pen.
And he's like, shh, I'm thinking about women. Thinking about the quarrels,
discrimination,
that women
the
have
mental
to
load that women experience.
And then he just gives Daisy a bit of a pat on the head while she's screaming. Every day he spends an hour at the gym and spends time building Lego, a new hobby he picked up during lockdown.
With Daisy?
Nope.
Okay.
But you just know that Daisy tries to play Lego and he slaps her hand and goes, no, this isn't for children. This is for grown men.
This is for my brain.
This is for men in their mid-40s, not for children.
Go away. Go away, Dave. Go ask Mum for some lunch.
He then says, time is so precious. I was always giving my time to other people before. Now I have the space to dream. And it's like, you're solely staring at cows and doing Lego. That's what you're doing with your time. And also, my time was always for others. Now it's for me. There is a 7-month-old still crying. She didn't like the chanting.
She needs help. And it's also like, were you thinking about others when you were in Pirates of the Caribbean? Like, it's not a particularly selfless job, which is fine.
Were you thinking about others when you yelled at that woman in the theatre? The internet obviously had a field day with his day in the life. And Jessie, I just want you to read out some of the best responses.
Katy Perry to Orlando Bloom. Baby, you okay? You've barely touched your brain octane oil. Woke up after a lie-in and saw the timeline full of Orlando Bloom's morning regimen. I shambled to the kitchen and made a tea accompanied by a stick of Kinder Bueno. There are no right answers. Then can't stop thinking about how Orlando Bloom's experience of having a 7-month-old involves waking up in the morning and checking your Fitbit to make sure you've had your full 8 hours sleep before looking in on said baby and going, hey, they seem happy, then going for a hike. So true. And then someone has written, has anyone tried switching Orlando Bloom off and then back on again?
Yeah, I think that he needs just a bit of a reset.
Yeah, agreed.
Jessie getting his dick out. It's 2016. Orlando Bloom is in Sardinia with his partner, Katy Perry. And he is papped on a paddleboard, completely naked. Naked. He was naked.
He's got his strudel out.
Jessie, describe what you see in that photo.
I'll say the first thing I see and it's look of pride. Because he's proud under his hat. Interesting he cared about that sun protection. He's got hat and sunnies on because he's like, careful of my...
And yet his white bottom and white dick and balls are going to get
even the
burned.
soles of his feet. You know what I'm more offended by? I don't like feet. I don't like the bareness of his feet. So he's paddleboarding. Interestingly, Katie is ahead of him on the paddleboard and she looks really distressed. She is tellingly looking in the opposite direction to the doodle.
She's also tellingly fully clothed.
Yeah.
She has her cozy on.
Yes.
Whereas he's gone...
She looks like a woman who is on a paddleboard that's moving forward with momentum and for the last 2 hours... Every time the wind has picked up, she's been slapped in the back of the neck with a doodle and she's like, can you just put it away? Because it keeps hitting me in the head.
I don't like it with the wind.
No. Where are these Speedos?
Where are they?
Yeah.
He's left them somewhere.
Yes, or he forgot them. He got to the beach and he forgot.
So he's just gone full doodle. I don't like when men go Rudy-nudie. I've always thought it. There are men who are too comfortable being naked?
I think you can be naked in your own home.
Oh, yeah, but sorry. Rudy-nudie in public.
Okay. Well, it's a crime.
It is. I just feel like Katie is like, get your dick out of my face. I can keep my clothes on. We're on holiday.
Yeah. And it's also like, not only are you Orlando Bloom, I'm Katy Perry. And so in terms of attracting attention, it's great that you're wearing a hat and sunnies, so you think that disguises your identity. But I'll remind you that I'm actually Katy Perry, and anyone with a camera is going to take a photo of this.
The news organisations who were so unethical that they paid a paparazzi who had taken a nude photo of Orlando Bloom decided that they were ethical enough to put an emoji or a black box over his actual dick.
Yes.
But a number of the photos hadn't blurred the shadow of his dick. And so, Jessie, I'm going to need you to look at the next picture.
Okay.
And just tell me what you see in the shadow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, in this one, she's actually turned around.
Yeah, because she's going, God, that's big.
Get that out of the way. Wowee. Okay.
What do you see?
I mean, it's flaccid.
It's
warm. It is just a relaxing day. And it's hanging between the legs. But the shadow goes down to the knee, which I know doesn't mean the willy goes down to the knee, but just I don't understand the dynamics of shadow. But yeah, badly done. I think he's smiling and he appears to be smiling proudly. Yeah, yep.
Here at Mamamia, we do not support the paparazzi economy, and we'll just take a moment.
We won't share these on the twins' thoughts.
No. This was everywhere, and I didn't opt to see it, but I did, and that's why I think it's important we talk about it.
And it's not a nude beach because she's covered, and it's not a private pool, and it's not in their own home. So he got on a paddleboard that day and decided to get his dick out.
And I just think, how about the person who's using the paddleboard next? And he's sat on it.
Yeah.
And he has got his butthole.
Yeah.
On the
and his sticky balls.
Traction.
And even on because that's where my feet are meant to go when I'm stand-up paddleboarding. And the tip of your willy has dragged along it.
Yeah. On a hot day.
Maybe he owns it. Maybe when you're Orlando Bloom, you don't rent a paddleboard.
You buy it. But still, talking about the whole drama a few years later, Orlando said, I'm so in tune with nature. So he was trying to be free. And then he said, I hadn't done full frontal in like movies, theatre, whatever. And I wouldn't have gone, oh, I'm up for that. First, there's the photo with the block over it and you make some jokes. Well, I hope they have got a black box big enough to cover it. Ha ha ha.
Oh.
And then suddenly you realise that somebody is going to uncover the black box because they're going to get paid enough money. Yes, well, I've seen the non-black box version. Have you seen the
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, I have to say it's very hard to find now. I attempted to find it, and I do have a new virus on my computer.
I'm horrified for you. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, no, from like it'd be like, want to see it? Here it is. Click
and
this link, and I'm like,
and it's like, you want to talk to someone in Russia? And it's like, not really.
No, why is my computer so
do I have
slow?
to see the image? Just maybe.
Howard Stern complimented Bloom for having that kind of equipment, referencing the suspiciously large shadow in the photo.
Huh?
And Bloom said it's really not that big. Things are expanded on cameras with a big optical lens. It's an optical illusion. So he says, my dick's not that big. And I think Katie said that at one point as well. She's like, it's not that big. Which, that looks pretty bloody big, okay?
It's just false humility.
But I don't know. I do think that this is a crime, both legally and socially, to have your dick out in Italy.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, if you were in Sydney Harbour with your willy out like that, I think it's a crime. I think you can call the police.
I don't like it. His dick is huge. Jessie, it's time for charges and sentences. Jessie, my charge.
Yes.
Being too old for that.
Okay.
For attempting to hit fetus Justin Bieber. For dating Selena Gomez. For getting your dick out. For playing Lego. For thinking that cows are beautiful.
Yes.
Too old for that. You might think that the sentence would be act your age.
Yeah.
That would seem like a court would probably do that.
Yeah.
This man is 46.
Right.
You might say play some golf or something.
Yeah.
But no, that's not the sentence. Because Council Courtroom is an incredibly good legal place. If you're going to act like a child, you're going to be treated like a child.
You can put him in onesie.
If
You're going to put him in a bonnet.
If we can't be trusted not to hit, which it appears we cannot, then we'll be treated in line with the age we're behaving, which is 9.
All right.
Jesse, he has to go back to school in year 4.
Okay.
And do a project on cows.
The most beautiful land animal.
Well, he's going to discover some things about cows because they're not beautiful. He's going to make a diorama, maybe of a farm or something.
Yeah.
Maybe some Lego cows. All the kids these days, when they do dioramas, they make them out of Lego.
No, they don't.
It actually really upsets me. And I was talking to a 9-year-old recently, and I was in her classroom looking at the dioramas, and she pointed to someone's and said, he didn't even make that. It came like that. And I said, no, that's not. Where's the cellophane and the funny smelling dough?
And a bit of cotton wool on pipe cleaners.
Some glue that has not dried.
No, we
that the teacher's going to go,
together.
Oh, I hate that kid. Of course that kid had a smelly.
Your paint's still wet.
Yeah.
It's all over your uniform.
So he is going to have to make a diorama.
Yes, I like that a lot.
Do some school projects.
I like that a lot.
Return to year 4, learn some manners, get told we don't pull our pants down.
Yep.
That is just for going to the toilet.
And don't hide in the cubicle for too long because we know you're doing something naughty like getting wet toilet paper thrown at the roof.
Or doing something with your feces.
Yeah.
You need to keep your dick in your pants.
No
you
hat, no
need
play.
to not hit. You need to grow up.
And spend your tuck shop money.
Exactly. And no brain octane oil.
No, it's not there.
Get a pizza rounder like a normal kid.
I have very general charge, and that sometimes happens is that it's more about a vibe.
Yeah.
So what I'm sensing with Orlando is some real impulsivity towards some behaviours. So getting our dick out, for example, hitting Justin Bieber, yelling at a woman with an iPad, right? We all hate iPads in public places. We've talked about Dad will be a tourist. Dad gets his iPad out. He takes a blurry photo.
I'm so sorry for being that person who brings up my wedding 3 times in an episode. But Dad had his iPad
No,
out.
he didn't.
He did. He took photos.
Off his iPad.
And then apparently...
Did you notice that he took photos during the ceremony?
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Weren't people explicitly asked not to?
Yeah.
Feels like if you're going to take it on a small phone, on an iPad.
Our brother, who was sitting next to Mum, said that Dad whispered really loudly, am I allowed to take photos? And Mum said, of course. No! Put your iPad down, old man.
It's too big and it takes, most importantly, terrible photographs.
And you know what? He hasn't sent me a photo.
No, he never looks at them.
No.
He just takes them on his iPad.
No.
Okay. So, yes, I'm worried about his impulsivity and his rudeness to people, but I'm also worried about Daisy. Daisy, we don't know what she does before 6:30 if she wakes up and who gets her up and who's doing the nappy and the feeding and the bathing, right? So I get to my sentence. What I want is for Orlando to have, and I'm sure we've talked about this loosely, but I don't know if you've ever properly enshrined it into the cancelled law book, a taste of your own medicine.
Oh, beautiful. You know, we do need
a
cancelled law book that could precedent. Because precedent.
So where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. Don't be rude, it's not nice.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And of course now this one. And so with Taste of Our Own Medicine, what I want is when he's sitting there dreaming about roles for minorities and women, I want minorities and women all over the world to be closing their eyes no matter what they're doing in their states of various oppression.
Yeah.
And dream about roles for Orlando.
And what do you think that they're dreaming about? What's a great role? I mean, we're women. We're allowed to dream.
We are.
He's a beautiful man. Very pretty.
He is. So what would be the perfect role for Orlando Bloom? I'm seeing him as an elf.
I think because of Lord of the Rings, he's being typecast.
Yeah. He's always a sort of fantasy, but I could also see him as potentially, and I'm going to put it out there, a cow.
Okay. He'd make a beautiful cow.
Yeah, maybe the back half of a cow.
Yeah.
Because he would embody that. He knows it very well. In fact, he's beautiful. So maybe he's the front half of the cow.
I was going to say front half. Yeah, I didn't know where you were going.
Put some lashes on him, stick his tongue out.
Yeah.
And what we've got is a dribbly old cow. And he could play that, really embody it.
And he could be the beautiful cow that he says he's been staring at.
And speaking of what I want, because he's been staring at cows who are just trying to go about their business.
Now, like, why won't
Why are
this
you staring
guy
at me?
stop looking at me?
And some people don't like to be looked at when they're eating,
no,
right?
And cows are always
And you
eating.
and I are identical twins. We know what it's like sometimes for people to kind of look at you and work out why you both have the same face.
Yeah.
Similar to cows.
Yeah.
I want Orlando to be stared at by cows.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So he's walking along on his hike. He encounters a cow.
The cow needs to objectify him the way he has
been
objectified
objectifying
cows.
the cows.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. And so then what we get is a staring competition between him and the cow, which is obviously something he has employed with Daisy.
Yeah.
In the mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it'll improve his portrayal of the cow in the next film, which honestly will be his best role in 10 years.
Yes. Great point. Great point.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for on today's episode of Cancel. For all the receipts, including tweets, photos, not the paparazzi photos, but we might find a way to maybe just zoom in on the shadow.
Maybe that will be discussed offline.
Yeah.
That's at @the_twins_ on Instagram.
If you have loved listening today, become part of the community that makes you feel seen, heard, and understood like never before. Subscribe to Mamamia. There's a link in the show notes. The executive producer of Cancelled is Talissa Bazaz, with audio editing by Thom, and we will be back next week. Bye.